Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. If you had checked his social media recently, you would see that Trevon Diggs looks to be progressing well with his rehab as he works back from a torn ACL he suffered in the week leading up to Week 3. However, despite him showing glimpses of his old self, Cowboys fans are going to have to wait a little bit longer to see the star cornerback on the field with his team. Trevon Diggs is expected to be put on the PUP list to start training camp. According to David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, despite Diggs being on schedule to return from his ACL injury, the cornerback is expected to start camp on the PUP list. Diggs is expected to be placed on the physically unable to perform list later this week once the Cowboys report to Southern California, a person with knowledge of the player's status said. That designation comes as no surprise since the cornerback is just 9 months removed from surgery to repair a torn ACL. Club officials are operating under the belief that Diggs will be ready to play when the team opens the regular season against Cleveland on September 8. Video of how good the Pro Bowl corner looks in his rehab have been posted on social media in recent days. While it may be frustrating for some fans who were hoping to see Diggs on the field on day 1, this doesn't sound like cause for alarm, with this not being viewed as a setback and Week 1 still being the plan for him. Diggs has been taking to his Instagram account over the last week to post various workout videos and show off the progress he has made in his road to recovery. #CowboysCB Trevon Diggs, with cameo from Micah Parsons, continues to put the work in ahead of training camp. From throwing dumbbells around, weighted push-ups, and field work, it doesn't look like Diggs is dealing with much, if any limitations right now. Diggs appears to be moving well, has no issues in and out of his breaks, and shows signs of being well on his way to being back on the field with the rest of his teammates sooner rather than later. These things take time, and with an athlete of Diggs' pedigree, it makes sense the Cowboys are doing what they can to protect him and make sure he is good to go when it matters. In related injury news, Moore also updated the status of Mazi Smith and Luke Schoonmaker. While Diggs will open camp on the PUP list, club officials are optimistic that defensive tackle Mazi Smith, shoulder surgery, and tight end Luke Schoonmaker, hamstring, could be cleared to participate. Both will likely have their participation restricted when the team gets underway later this week. There's rarely a major contract kerfuffle in major sports that Stephen A. Smith doesn't weigh in on. So it was no surprise when he gave his 2 cents on Monday regarding Dak Prescott and his ongoing contract talks, or lack thereof, with the Dallas Cowboys. Prescott is set to become a free agent next spring and is likely waiting for other big-name QBs in the league to sign contracts first so he can cash in big, as ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported on SportsCenter on Sunday, via Bleacher Report. While Cowboys fans may think the veteran play-caller is worth the price tag, Smith thinks otherwise given how Prescott has performed in the playoffs over his career. "I'm just saying he doesn't deserve it," Smith said Monday on ESPN First Take. "I know we talk about the market, and I get that your value is what the market says it is. He doesn't deserve it because he doesn't show up in the postseason. League sources have told me the Dallas Cowboys could investigate running backs that hit the waiver wire after training camp. These camp cuts aren't just guys who can't make it in the league, but they're also veterans who may not fit on a team's roster for various reasons. When you go hunting at the end of camp, there are players who can help your team. This is why I've heard the Cowboys may do such a thing. I've also been told that a trade near the end of the preseason for another running back is not out of the question. The Cowboys brought Ezekiel Elliott back as their starter this year, and he'll form a running back by committee with Rico Dowdle if the team can't find additional help at the position. This is a good not great combination, and I think it's why the Cowboys may be looking for help elsewhere. The question becomes, where should they look? Around the league, there are a few running backs with starters talent that could be on the roster bubble with training camp set to open this week. In this article, I will take a look at who could draw interest from a team like the Cowboys, or any other team in need of help at the running back position. Javonte Wiliams could be competing with Samaje Perine for the final spot in the Broncos' running back room. A 2021 second-round pick of the Broncos, Wiliams was an exciting player in his rookie year, but he has not looked the same since shredding his knee early in the 2022 season. Wiliams started 13 games last season, but he averaged only 3.6 yards per carry. His game is all about running defenders over, but Wiliams only had 11 broken tackles last year, ranking number 28 in the NFL, on 217 total carries. Compare that to his fantastic rookie season when he had 31 broken tackles, leading all NFL rushers that year, on 203 carries. Khalil Herbert has flashed talent during his time with the Chicago Bears, but he's in danger of not making the team due to the talent above him on the depth chart. The Bears are stacked with backs, and they'll have a problem just getting enough touches to guys like DeAndre Swift and Roscoe Johnson. Herbert, a sixth-round pick out of Virginia Tech in 2021, has amassed 1,775 rushing yards over the last 3 seasons, compared to Wiliams, who has 1,881 rushing yards during that time. Herbert started 9 games last year for the Bears, but since fellow backup Travis Homer is a standout special teams player, we might see a team in need of a running back throw out a trade offer. Myles Gaskin is a fast back who can do it all, but he might not make the 53-man roster for the Minnesota Vikings coming out of training camp. With only 10 snaps last year between 2 teams, and all of those snaps on special teams, Gaskin is trying to get back into the offensive mix with the Vikings. Just like Herbert with the Bears, the Vikings have some talented backs above Gaskin on the depth chart. Thus, he might get squeezed out of a roster spot because Aaron Jones is starting, Ty Chandler is a great backup, and arguably a rising talent, and King Nwangwu is a younger player, also with a lot of speed. A 7th-round pick in 2019, Gaskin has the second most starts, 17, of this group, Wiliams 18, Herbert 12, but it's been a while since he started on offense. Bottom line. Running backs matter. At least to some degree. The Cowboys seemingly intend to employ the running back by committee approach, but do they have the right backs to do so? The Denver Broncos running back room is just as crowded, and we will argue that Javonte Wiliams could be the right fit for what the Cowboys want to do in the running game. Yes, he suffered a torn ACL and LCL in 2021, but he is 2 years removed from surgery and rehab and ready to make a return to the back that impressed the league his rookie season. Wiliams could be an absolute steal for the Cowboys and set themselves up for the next few years at running back. As a rookie, Wiliams ran for 4.4 yards per carry and amassed 1,219 yards from scrimmage. He can catch the ball out of the backfield and has a willingness to plow through and over defenders in the running game. At NFL.com, his pre-draft scouting report read, "Big, broad bully back who runs with an exciting blend of animosity and feel as a future every-down starter in the league." He's a terror behind his pads, creating yardage by battering and discarding tackle attempts.